Coming up on Art Rocks, a bad situation lets a Baton Rouge artist unlock the power of a single impression.
In 2016, Baton Rouge had a tremendous flood. I had a show scheduled for December, and the way that I could work was do printmaking.
And a creative writer using spoken word to keep culture alive. All that up next on Art Rocks.
Art Rocks is made possible by the Foundation for Excellence in Louisiana Public Broadcasting and by viewers like you.
Hello, and thank you for joining us for Art Rocks with me, James Fox Smith, publisher of Country Roads magazine. We begin with a Baton Rouge artist widely acknowledged as a painter until a brush with disaster drove her to take a different approach. Rosemary Goodell talks about making the transition from painting to producing monoprints and the visual aesthetic that enables her to excel at both.
When I was painting, I would take a brush in black paint and draw on the canvas, and then a lot of times I would use acrylic paint to put in a wash of color because it dries very quickly, so you can make changes very fast. But then oil paint has such beautiful colors, it has nuance, the colors are so beautiful that I would use the oil paint on top of the acrylic paint. And I could do that because acrylic paint was water-based, and they call that lean, and then the oil paint is oil. You can always put fat over lean. You can put oil paint over acrylic, but you can't put acrylic over the oil paint because it can't breathe. Because oil paint is kind of gloppy like oil, you can take it and you can extend it out. That's why people have always liked oil paint. They discovered that they could get fantastic detail using oil because it was slow drying and you could extend the color out. So you could go from dark to light very easily with oil paint. I would use that, and also I like to just use flat color too and build up what they call an impasto, which is thick paint. I ended up going 1 year to school in Boston at the Museum of Fine Arts, and then I went to UCLA and finished at Berkeley. I have a master's and a bachelor from Berkeley. The West Coast is very full of Asian art and Asian people. It's the closest to Japan and China. And so when I was at Berkeley, I got interested in some of the early printmakers, the Hirosigi and some of the other Japanese printmakers, very interested in them. And I'd followed them all along. And when I was down here, I got interested in Japanese paper, Oriental papers, because they're very beautiful. So I applied for this grant to go to Japan, which was amazing. And then when I came back, I was using Japanese papers in my paintings. I would collage the paper and then paint on top of it. And it just continued on, and after that, I worked with different things to have more of a Japanese feel to my art. Flat color and very bold lines, asymmetrical balance, and a use of patterns. Those elements of art I use in my painting as well. In 2016, Baton Rouge had a tremendous flood. I had 5 feet of water in my house, and it flooded my studio. I had a studio behind my house. So I had a show scheduled for December, and the way that I could work was do printmaking because I had done printmaking previously, but not on a consistent level. I wrote a grant, and I received money to go and make prints, and from then on I've been making prints. The kind of prints I do are called monoprints. It's not like an etching or a lithograph where you have a multiple of the same thing, one right after another after another. This kind of printmaking really ties in with my painting because in this kind of printmaking I mix individual colors and I create a composition and I make one print. That's why it's called monoprint. And the way it's made is an artist, and this is done by Degas, other artists, they take a piece of glass or a plexiglass and put color on it. Degas used oil paint For me, I use lithographic inks that are different colors, and I mix those colors and then I put them on the plate. And I use a lot of different things when I'm printing. I use fabric for texture, I use pieces of string, I use shapes, and when I have that print, that composition on the plate finished, then I take the plate and I carry it to the press, put it down face up on the press, get a piece of acid-free paper and put it on top of that plate, then put some blankets on top of it, and then run it through the press. And something happens when that image is printed. It's sort of a magical thing, and the ink goes into the paper and you have an image. I'm not painting on the paper, I'm using the plate, and then the image from the plate is put onto the paper. Color is very important. I think that color is probably the most expressive of the art elements. When we see yellow, it makes us happy. When we see blue, we may feel sad, or gray, it's like a gray day. I always start out with the original color, the primary, like blue and red and yellow. And then as I work, I start combining them and creating kind of their brothers and sisters so that it's like a family of colors when I finish. The title of this print is Rainy Day. Here in the South, sometimes it rains, but it's sunny. Because I'm so interested in pattern, you can see a lot of pattern on that print. You see that it's kind of like rain coming down. The orange, it represents light, and you see the little circle up at this top. That would be like maybe the sun or a moon. Hands, things just embracing the weather. It's just a feeling about the weather on a rainy day. The title of the print is called Icon. What I'm interested in is the formal qualities of the shapes and the relationships of the shapes in the background. The background is sort of modeled, and so you have a sense of air and space, and then on top of it you have this very rigid rectangle with vertical lines. That's the icon, and then around it are the relationships of the colors. You see the texture in the background, you see the flat colors, the use of line, and then the pattern. The title of this is Eclipse. It's like an eclipse, and I've used different textures to create a composition. The black and white vertical stripes are created by using a piece of corrugated cardboard and inking the cardboard. And actually, this technique of inking the cardboard and using it, I used a lot in my painting. A lot of these things have come from my painting and inform my printmaking. I'm able to take my past experience with painting and use it in my printmaking. I left painting, but I moved into printmaking using the same knowledge I had about color mixing, about composition, about creating a work of art, expressing myself. The techniques are different, but my knowledge and the way of working is here. It's in my head.
Seeing artists on TV is great, but they and their works are so much better in the flesh. So here are some of our picks for notable exhibits coming soon to a museum or a gallery near you. For more about these and many more events in the arts, subscribe to Arts Monthly, the new free e-newsletter from the editors at LPB and Country Roads magazine. What's more, the Art Rocks website features every episode of this program, so to see or share any episode again, log on to lpb.org and navigate to Art Rocks. Out in Reno, Nevada, that city's Siren Society harnesses a blend of aerial artistry, fire arts, high fashion, night circus bohemianism, and mind-boggling feats of contortion to create performances as breathtaking as they are unique. Have a look at this.
It makes me happy to be upside down. It's hard work, but at the same time when I'm up here, I don't really have to think that much. If it's something that I've been doing for a while, like a move that I really know, it's calming.
I am the owner of an aerial arts group, performance group called the Siren Society. We do aerial arts, we do fire dancing, we have dancers, we have a ballerina, we do like character dancing, go-go dancing, and we have choreography dancers. We also do flow arts. Our friends at Tahoe Maps said, hey, we have space at our big, huge warehouse, and if you guys would like to do cool stuff while other artists watch you guys, then that'd be cool. So we thought it was a great match, and it's nice to be among other artists making art as well.
So this is the aerial hoop, and I've been doing it for about 3 years or so. I started when Siren Society started. With the hoop, it's all about finding the right balance and just being in the middle and where your body should be. My specialty is aerial silks. It's really hard to describe. Whenever someone asks me what I do, I usually describe it kind of like gymnastics on fabric, and then they're like, oh, like Cirque du Soleil? And I'm like, yeah, basically.
I'm actually a belly dancer, so that's where I kind of got in the groove of things. We also really work with flow art, which is what you see right here. They do these flag boys. Actually very recent, you don't see them a lot. They're weighted, so that's why it kind of like leads with the fabric. And they're also blacklight reflective, so they look really, really cool in the black light.
We get a lot of work during the holidays because people are having Christmas parties and holiday parties, company parties, and we're busy. And in the spring and summer, we've been doing a lot of special events in San Francisco. And as festival season hits, we will be in the festival circuit.
We've had several performances and they're always just super, super fun. We all get really excited and creative and just kind of go with the flow of a topic.
What we all as artists are working to is how to tell a story or portray our passion to the audience.
There's so many ways that you can express yourself through like songs or different movements. Being able to be really expressive, conveying anger or passion or like different emotions.
I've seen for the last 3 years all of us grow so much. I would recommend anybody to try these things because you can find a passion for it and it's just amazing.
closer to ground level, Lucia Micarelli began playing the violin at the age of 3. She trained classically at the Juilliard School from 11 and now has a glittering solo career, developing technique and tone that have impressed the likes of world-renowned violinist Itzhak Perlman. But one night at a fancy party in Italy, all that almost came to a crashing halt. The Queen's New York native shares the story of her journey so far.
I'm always thinking about music. I'm always thinking about playing too. I mean, it's pretty dorky, but I'm always thinking about music. Before I understood music more intellectually, I always felt really emotionally connected to it. My name is Lucia Micarelli. I am a violinist. I started violin when I was 3. My mother made me play the violin. You know, my mother was very involved in the technical aspect of like getting on top of the violin and getting around it and practicing and auditioning and things like that. But my dad, he was so emotional, he was so moved by everything and so moved by words and so moved by music. I think I get a lot of that from him. I knew that I wanted to be a violinist probably when I was, 6 or 7. When I was 11, I auditioned for the Juilliard School pre-college division, and that was a big step. I started off with classical music, like super hardcore. I never even listened to any music that wasn't classical until I was like 17. Once I started working, it was like working with Josh Groban and then with Chris Bodie and just working with all these different people and not just being exposed to those artists, but their bands and their, like, all the musical people that they knew really kind of gave me an education. All of these experiences and all these people that I've met and just absorbing all this music has kind of gotten me to this place where I love just a really wide variety of things. When I put together a program to play live, my number one concern is I don't want to play anything that I'm not in love with. And so it ends up being a really eclectic mix of things. It's classical and it's jazz and there's folk music. I like it that way. I feel like it's really representative of just sort of all the influences I've had in my life. It's all music that I feel really strongly connected to. I've loved performing since I was little. And I get super nervous, I just love how alive it is and how it's a collaborative experience, not just with the other musicians, but it's a collaborative experience with an audience. It was the 4th of July, and I was on tour with Chris Bodie. We were doing a wedding in Italy, and we had just done the concert and we were backstage. I was holding a glass and I was wearing my gown and I tripped on my dress and I landed on the glass. Went to the ER, they just closed it up, came back to LA, went straight to a hand surgeon, and then we found out I had severed 3 nerves in my left hand.
This little cut must have had like a dagger in it because it went all the way down to the bone.
Oh, those are playing fingers. Left hand is, that was what was so nerve-wracking, was I was worried, I have to do a lot more with this hand. I do remember asking my surgeon if he thought I would play again, and he was like, well, I think so. We just kind of didn't know. And the feeling thing was the big question, because I still don't, after all these years, I still don't have full feeling in 3 fingers, in my thumb, forefinger, and pinky finger. And kind of just didn't know what that would mean. When they took the cast off and I couldn't move my fingers and I was just like this for a week or 2, I was like, I couldn't imagine, I was just like, this is the worst possible thing to be looking at it, and you're like, okay, I can't even open my hand, but I'm totally gonna play the violin again. I just did a lot of physical therapy and just kept pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, tried to get on the fiddle and just kept trying to play. And I ended up recovering really quickly because of that. It just made me realize so many things that have really fed my life have come out of this instrument and my relationship with this instrument. Just in the classical repertoire, there's so much music that I want to play. I don't know if I'm going to get to play it all, but God, I hope so. Anyone can be successful doing anything they want as long as it's something they really love. I hope that if I love it and I present it with a lot of love, then other people will see why I love it and hopefully they'll like it too.
Hmong American writer Ka Vang moved with her family from Laos to America in 1980. Based in Minnesota, her writing spanned genres from journalism to poetry, from fiction to playwriting. Here's Va performing one of her spoken word pieces and discussing the importance of keeping the Hmong culture alive.
I am the extraordinary Hmong. Rice paddy eyes, mouth full, open, filled with opium poppy seed. Hair long, black, like the Mekong. The ghost of my ancestors swimming on my back, waves breaking my spine, sinking like silver, clapping with the poetry of Gutier to the murky depths of my buttocks, sunburnt yellow buttocks, crisp by the McDonald eating sun as I slave beneath him. I'm not sushi, I'm not takeout, and I do not have an ancient secret. Pillsbury Doughboy people do not ask me for the Dalai Lama's number. Cause the monks from Shaolin Temple are revolting. I don't know Jet Li, only jet lag, while my spirit crossed the ocean to be delivered to Toys R Us. But Hmong are not welcome in country clubs and corporations inside. Janitors, short order cooks, factory workers, please apply. Wax yourself on, wax yourself off. I already sound off. Don't Danielson me. I'm nobody's son. A nomad, sowing my seed, writing my plea straight into your fortune cookie, carrying more wisdom in my pocket than Plato's philosopher king. Driving down University Avenue, my future coming through the rear view. Shi riding steady on his steed, snapping drums, clinking gong, and an ancestor howl fills my ears with sounds of pride. It says, I'm the extraordinary Hmong. I knew that there was this desire inside of me to write a Hmong anthem, or at least my Hmong anthem, and I couldn't get the words out. And then one night I was watching Late Night at the Apollo, and a young woman performed Phenomenal Woman by Maya Angelou, and I thought, there you go. If Maya Angelou can say I'm a phenomenal woman, then I can say I'm an extraordinary Hmong. So I wrote Extraordinary Hmong in like 30 minutes, and I did some minor editing, but really, when I say the ghosts of my ancestors swimming on my back, I really do feel in that moment when I was writing that the ghosts of my ancestors were on my back, helping me tell the story of our extraordinary existence. I get really inspired when I come to the Hmong market because it's a place for Hmong people to hold on to their culture and those things that are important, like the food, the clothes that are being sold here. It's also a place for the larger Minnesota community, whether you're Hmong or not, to come and find out about the Hmong people. It was believed that once upon a time, the Hmong actually had a written tradition, but because of persecution from the Chinese, that they were no longer allowed to actually write in their language. So what they did was they took the traditional characters and they put it in the clothes. So this character is the eyes of a tiger. So this is the character for tiger. And you see another representation of the tiger eye right here too. I remember when I was a child, my parents dressing me up in a little dress like this and taking me to the Hmong New Year in downtown St. Paul at the River Center. It's so important as we become more Americanized to still hold on to our clothes, to still hold on to our stories, our folk tales, and our history. And that's not saying that we don't want to be less American, but it's just a piece of who we are that we should find valuable, that we should hold on to. This is a traditional skirt that has been made into a bag. Now, you know, the hipster in me says that is way cool, but the traditionalist in me says this is meant to be a skirt. Why is it a bag? So things are forever changing in the Hmong community, and I see that change when I come here to the Hmong village. And it's all good. It's all good change because, yeah, why can't we imagine something? For instance, why can't this skirt become a bag? And why can't our traditional folk tales become reimagined to include, you know, the landscape of Minnesota, the landscape of America, and some of those different ideas into our folk tales? And that's what I'm trying to do with my writing, is to create stories that have familiar things in different landscapes. Being a storyteller, I think, is in my blood because I got that from my mom. She inspired me to tell stories. And, you know, I work in different mediums. I work in poetry, I work in essay writing, and also playwriting. And no matter what form or what genre I'm using, I feel that I'm always really just telling a story. And I think right now it is so important for us Hmong to remember our stories, because how we see ourselves as being Hmong has changed. So it's really important for, I think, for myself to capture that, to capture what was, what is now, and what will be in the future of being Hmong.
And as always, that is that for this edition of Art Rocks. But as we're in the habit of reminding you, you can always watch episodes of the show at lpb.org/artrocks. And if you want more insight into the art and culture of Louisiana, Country Roads Magazine makes a great resource for learning what's going on in the arts all across the state. So until next week, I'm James Fox Smith, and thank you for watching.